do things emotionally. In fact, I was surprised yesterday. Thoroughly surprised when I was watching politics today. Seun, if there was any way to break the screen, I would have shot him.
I'm coming murder.
You
have shot television or shot film.
In 5 feet, we get to him.
Shot film.
Let me tell you.
Didn't say that.
Let me tell you. No, that's what I'm saying. But the point I'm saying is how you can take yourself, the interviewer, saying that we cannot allow this only one party to do. Look, I said, what is this? I'm coming. You are an interviewer. You are not telling them your own view that how can they be there and make it to allow one party in this country. We will not. I was just taken aback. I know the point I'm trying to make. There's nothing wrong. You are the interviewer asking questions. How would you have allowed this kind of thing to happen? Now you are not the one coming out in a national television making that kind of which means you've already taken a position which is not right. That's the point I'm trying to make. So I'm not saying I should be going to give. No, what I'm trying to say, the anger that how could an interviewer, the anchor person, be making such a statement? And I said, this is not the kind of journalism I have seen people. I watch other stations.
I'm Seun Okinbaloye live for you in Abuja. I've seen the comments suggesting I could have been shot for doing my job on politics today, right here on China's television. I sincerely want to thank civil society organizations, our viewers, for your love and your comments and your solidarity, and both local and international organizations for your swift interventions and for lending your voices. Your support is deeply appreciated and reinforces our collective commitment to truth and accountability. The fact remains that our democracy is in danger if we allow one-way traffic in balloting. This is not a warning to the opposition or the ruling party, but to all Nigerians who believe in the development of our nation. I acknowledge that China's television has taken steps to address this matter, and I note the ongoing reassurance from the Department of State Services, the DSS, regarding safety. I also received a call from the Honorable Minister who clarified that the intention was not as conveyed. While that is noted, it is important to emphasize that violent rhetoric or suggestive threats are never appropriate responses to dissent in a democratic society. At a time like this, particularly during an election season, clear and consistent assurances of safety are critical. We must not create an environment where such statements can be exploited by those with harmful intentions. Let me be clear, I'm not afraid, and I will never and not be intimidated. Journalism, grounded in ethics and global best practices, remains a duty to the public, not a concession to power. We may disagree, and as humans, we may err, but dissent must never descend into hostility or harm. I will continue to do what I love, asking the necessary questions, holding power to account, and working in the interest of Nigeria and its progress. If that commitment comes at a cost, so be it. Truth must endure. Thank you everyone for your love. Appreciate it.
Hello and welcome. Today is Tuesday, April 7th, and we are discussing current affairs in Nigeria. So, I'm sure you've seen the video of FCT Minister Nyesom Wike threatening or seemingly or allegedly threatening Channel's journalist Seun Okinbaloye about his comments he made on last week about Nigeria's party system. So essentially, the context behind the whole feud brewing between the two of them is that Seun Okinbaloye, Seun said that it seems Nigeria is tilting towards a one-party state, essentially. And Nyesom Wike, in his monthly media chat the next day, he said that, look, he didn't appreciate the comment made by Seun, and if he had his way, he would have even shot him. If there was a way, he could have broken or gone through the TV screen and shot Seun, he would have done it. So that's essentially what happened. That's what essentially sparked the seeming back and forth. And Seun, I think this week on one of the programs, Seun also came out to say that, look, he's not even scared of anything. He has heard the comments. He has He's not scared, he's not phased. He still stands by his position that it seems Nigeria is tilting towards a one-party state, and there's nobody that can change his opinion regarding that. And which I really like, which I really appreciate the confidence. So that's essentially the context and what has happened over the past few days since the whole feud started is basically people have been giving their own separate opinions. People supporting the president will say that look, Seun was out of line. That how will you call Nigeria a one-party state? There's other parties. The constitution allows for other parties. There are other parties. Whilst detractors will now say, look, yes, you may say that there's detractors, including myself, will say that look, even if you say there are other parties, the truth of the matter is that Nigeria is tilting towards a one-party state. It is evident. Even a blind man can see it. You understand? Because if APC is the only party, if APC is the ruling party, good. APC is a strong party, yes. Now, what has been the fate of other strong parties, other main contenders over the past 3 years since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came to power? PDP, internal crisis caused by allegedly the same FCT minister, Nyesom Wike. ADC leadership crisis, which started basically over like a week ago, caused by allegedly the ruling party because the former vice national chairman Nafi Gombe, he's saying that he's supposed to be the chairman, even if he agreed to resign. There's evidence floating around that he was present at the unveiling last year. He was party to it. He openly accepted for David Mark, Atiku, El Rufai, Peter Obi to come into the party. I made a video about something like that a few days ago, but maybe I'll make another one if you guys are interested in that. So essentially, Nigeria is moving towards a one-party state. We can't deny it. Yes, the constitution says one thing, but what is happening on the ground? It's not about theories. Constitution is theory. What about the practical? And the practical is showing that Nigeria is tilting towards a one-party state. There's nothing anybody can really say or do to deny it. It's very, very evident. So by all indications, with the leadership crisis in ADC now, it's looking like what APC is going to do now is what APC wants, at least. I don't know. I don't think Nigerians will allow it. As Nigerians, it is up to us not to allow ourselves to be disenfranchised, as it were. If we let that happen, it's going to be on us. We can tweet about APC all day. We can tweet about Tinubu all day. We can tweet about how we don't like FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. But look, if we let it happen, it's going to happen. These guys, I don't think they care. I don't think, bro, they're in power. So, but we need to understand that the real power belongs to us. It is from us that they get their power. So if we can realize that, if we can come together and take actionable steps, I think we are going to be able to make good progress. So essentially, Nigeria is moving towards a one-party state. Seun is of the view that Nigeria is moving towards a one-party state, which is the common sense view. Like anybody, as long as you have common sense, you can say that Nigeria is moving towards a one-party state. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, I think he was just angry that Seun voiced the opinion that everybody is thinking. Seun basically said what everybody is thinking. Seun didn't say anything rocket science. He didn't say anything unconventional or unorthodox. He just said something everybody has been thinking. You and I have been thinking along similar lines as well. So that's basically what has been happening. So what's my honest reaction to Nyesom Wike's statement specifically? Personally, I feel it was just a case of Wike being Wike. I feel like he was just being, I feel like he was just exaggerating. But when you exaggerate, you can exaggerate. Everybody has the right to freedom of speech. Everybody has the right to use words how they like. But I think when he now invoked violence, saying, "Oh, he could have shot Seun if he had the chance, or if something to that effect, if there was a way he could have shot Seun, he would have." I feel like with the context, and Nyesom Wike is a very educated guy. He's a highly educated guy. He's a well-accomplished lawyer, so he knows the implication of context. He knows the kind of context. He knows Nigeria's political history. If anybody knows that, why will you make a statement like that with our history of political violence, especially in democracy or alleged democracy? All the violent political assassinations, things to that nature. Why would you even joke about something like that? As someone of your stature, who you know the context, you are highly educated, you can't feign ignorance in that one. You are too intelligent to do that. You understand? So that comment was distasteful. I understand what he was trying to say. He was simply saying, okay, he was simply trying to express rather that he was very, very frustrated with what Seun said. He didn't agree. But yeah, there's a way you could say it without threatening to shoot someone. At the end of the day, like, you could just you're a lawyer, you know a billion words you can use. There's a billion other words or phrases or expressions you could have used to express your point. You shouldn't have. I feel like Nyesom Wike shouldn't have said you shouldn't have used violence. Like, that was not necessary at all. And I liked how Seun handled it. He handled it with class. I'll try and include all the clips. But Seun, man, that guy is simply exceptional. That guy, he handled it with real maturity. He handled it as a real journalist. He basically put on a clinic for other journalists to show how to handle this kind of crisis, and just being targeted, seemingly targeted by people in power or people in high positions. So that was really great. So essentially, we are still on it. Nigeria is still sliding towards a one-party state. By all indications, it's like all the main contenders in the opposition ADC, they are looking to move. I made a video about it a few days ago. Peter Obi, Rabiu, Konkoso, and Atiku, they are all planning to move. And what I'm hearing is they are going to move to either APP or NDC. NDC already has a very prominent politician, Senator Seraki Dixon, former governor of Bayelsa State, now is serving senator. So NDC has him. So there are other viable alternatives for the ADC. They don't necessarily have to just stay with. The opposition doesn't necessarily have to stay with ADC. ADC is not set in stone. Even the FCT elections, ADC didn't even win a seat. You understand? People will try and argue it back and forth that, okay, maybe APC rigged it, this, that, and the third, and maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But the fact of the matter is, ADC, yes, is very, very everybody identifies ADC with this opposition, but all I'm simply saying is that it's not set in stone. The opposition should look elsewhere. If ADC is looking like it's having leadership crisis, and this, I even said it in my last video, why did the opposition come into a party that already has members? Why did it come to an existing party? With the kind of money, with the kind of influence, with the kind of reputation that the coalition has, people like Tambo, people like Atiku, people like Erufai, people like Peter Obi, people like Rotimi Amechi, they have enough clout and resources and reputation and cachet to make their own party. They should have just made their own party. Because look, the thing about this INEC and this current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, people always say President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a strategist, and it's true. But a strategist can only capitalize on your mistakes. You understand? If you don't leave any room for mistakes, if you cross your T's and dot all your I's, if you leave no stone unturned, there's nothing a strategist can do. You understand? Because sometimes the best offense is a good defense. If this opposition have played a good defense by not even giving any room, the moment you enter a party where there's already members, you have given the ruling party an opening, especially this kind of ruling party that is very, very politically strategic. People say a lot about President Tinubu being A1 in politics, F9 in governance. I don't know. Personally, I feel it's a little bit of both. But all I'm saying is the opposition should have not given this president that opportunity. You know the kind of person he is. You know what he's going to do if you give him that opening, and they give him that opening, and now INEC is saying they are not going to recognize ADC. So now the opposition has to look for another party if they are going to contest 2027, whether presidential, whether governorship, whether legislative. They have to look for another party because INEC says it's not going to recognize ADC. So this is what's happening. This is the current affairs in Nigeria. Let me know what are your thoughts about it. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. My name is Farouk. I'm your friend, and I always be giving you updates about current affairs in Nigeria. Thank you very much for watching to this point. See you on the next video.